What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. It is episode number 70, returns today of a brand new season, our 8th of the save and our 2nd with Bologna going into it, the Stadio Renato Dallara as Serie A winners. Heading back to the Champions League, our starting budget for the new season is going to be 60 million. Now, I didn't expect it to be astronomical because we're a club on the rise. And there's not as much money in the Serie A as there is in the Premier League, but I was hoping for around 80 to 90. It's a little bit less than I was hoping for. Yeah, I certainly didn't think we were going to get about, 150, 200 million, the mega money you often get after a few years in the Premier League in career mode, but I thought it would be slightly more than that. But to be honest, we don't really need a massive budget anyway, and I'm thinking possibly making like one decent signing. We should be able to do that with the money, and maybe one sale as well of one of our good players that doesn't get many minutes, such as Lewis Ferguson, but yeah, I mean it's fine. Like, it's totally fine. It's about I'd say 20 mil under what I was hoping for. So yeah, it's a little bit less, but it's not the worst thing in the world. The squad depth is a bit of a concern. I guess really the question is now then, what are we going to do with that money? We're going to bring in one really good player for the first 11. Or are we just going to bring in like 3 or 4 decent squad players to help us be more competitive on multiple fronts? We saw last season we had a lot of injury problems. Rico Lewis had a contract coming in the season. I could possibly cash in and go for a new right back. I'm not too sure. We had quite a few injury problems. That was a big hurdle for us to overcome due to the fact we were trying to be competitive on 3 different fronts. And then of course in the space of 2 weeks we were knocked out of both the Cup and Europe as well. So I guess that's the decision, really. That's the decision. Do we spend the 60 mil as Sarkisian retains his exciting prospect tag? Do we spend the money on 3 or 4 squad players, or do we just go after one new first 11 player? And so the players and the deals that come at the end of the year, you got Lewis, Zalewski, Ferguson, Bansky, that young Spanish lad Ramirez, who I'm very keen on, and Motolese as well. So I'm going to give the young Spaniard a contract. Alex Ramirez, 21 years old, but already 81 overall. And of course, with Sonny leaving us, I will want a new second/third choice striker, especially as I wasn't too keen on Raimondo last season. I think I will give Bansky a new deal as well. He's not a Bologna Academy grad. I got this wrong. Sorry about that. But he did come in at, I think it was 17 years old. So technically, he still counts as homegrown. So I'll keep him as well. And as for Rico Lewis, yeah, I mean, I said if we weren't a Champions League side, I'd probably let him go because he'd be too good to not be playing prime-time football. But now we're back in the Champions League and we're Serie A winners and he's been here for a few years too. I think he's settled now and I'm going to keep him as my starting right-back for this year. But for Zalewski, Ferguson and Motolese, he was a homegrown centre-half, but we barely use him. I'm not too sure, especially for Ferguson. I think after all these years, his time might be coming to an end. So Ramirez shows great potential. Sorry, just changing the boot set. I can't have a youth player with generic boots, man. He's not going to play in my team until he gets a boot deal. But Ramirez has shown great potential, so I really don't want to stunt his growth by not playing him enough this year. So that might possibly open the door for Raimondo to leave. He's not growing anymore, but he's of course homegrown, so that is crucial. I believe we've got 5. We've got Raimondo, Urbanski. We've got the goalkeeper. And Motolese, so actually no, we've only got the 4. Oh no, Carrazza, so we have got 5. We have got 5 now. Bagnolini, Carrazza, Motolese, Raimondo, and Bansky counts as well. So we could sell Raimondo with that being the case. I don't know. We'll think about it. But the veterans in the team, we've only got 2 players that are over 30 now, Ferguson and Ranocchia. I think for Lewis Ferguson, after all these years, loved in Bologna, he took to life in Italy like a fish to water. He's my sort of player, but as we're so overloaded at CM as well, I think this might be the big name departure of the summer, you know. So as the season begins, I've totally forgot. What are our board objectives for this season? What have we got? In domestic, oh, okay. Win the domestic double. All right, retain that Serie A. I thought they might just say stay in the top 4, but win the Serie A, win the Cup, and win the Champions League. Go for the treble. I thought one of these here would be a little kinder and just say maybe in the Cup, try and get to the semis because, you know, you've never done it in 7 years. or finish top 4, or even Champions League, maybe just semi-final place. But no, the board are asking for a treble, yet they've only given us 60 mil to work with. That's tough. I just turned down that bid for Coyote there. I'd prefer to keep him. He might be a backup to Rico Lewis, but Lewis spent a bit of time on the sidelines last season, so do want to make sure I've got a competent backup right back. And there is a bid for Pacho, who I did say after last season I would be willing to let go. He had quite a bit of interest in January, and I said, I'll let you go in the summer, mate. Lille, of course, knocked us out of the Europa League last year, and I do have a plan to replace him with Scalvini, as you know. So the only way I can get the Italian centre-half is by selling Pacho. We've got a Cody as a third choice, he's more than good enough as well. And if I can get 55 mil out of Lille, I'll call that a really good deal considering his age and market valuation. Lille say, yeah, I'm fine with that sale. This was like, not an if, but a when. We knew Willian was leaving at some point. There's Milan have just put in a bid for Michel. Absolutely not, guys. I said, I wonder if he's... I wonder if he's going to start growing quickly again as well after last season. That incredible year he had. Surely he must be. There we go. Okay, all right. Oh, yeah, Leonardo. I said it when we signed him, man. He's on his way to becoming the best goalkeeper in the world. Can I put him on balance? Would he still grow quickly? Oh, yeah. Keep him on balance then. And he'll get to 90 for handling in a few weeks' time. I said it, man. He's definitely on his way to being the best goalkeeper in the world. And that's why I wanted him from Palace so bad compared to the other goalkeepers we could have signed. So there we go. Pacho gone. £55 million on his way to Lille. We said he was going to go at some point after all the interest in January. I just couldn't afford to lose him last season as we were going for what was the treble. The treble became the double became the single, but after bowing out of a Serie A winner's medal, not going to stand in his way. Pacho off to Lille, we'll take the cash, and now let's bring in Scalvini's the replacement. That was the plan all along. Yep, I'll be honest, this is the guy I wanted to replace Pacho with, Rafael Tavares. I believe it's the pre-gen of Gabriel at Arsenal, but after moving on from Newcastle to Real Madrid last season, he's officially off limits now as Eder Militao takes him under his wing. But this guy's not a bad second choice, might be a couple years older, but the same rating and one of the best centre-backs you can buy in Carimo. Giorgio Scalvini, who's remained at Atalanta since the save began, but they are not in Europe at all this season. He's got 92 strength, 96 aggression, 92 interceptions, 88 reactions. Okay, the lack of acceleration is a slight concern, but physically, he's super strong with 94 short pass and 87 ball control, making him a great player to pass out from the back. And at 27, he's still currently in his prime. Giorgio Scalvini, too good not to be playing in Europe, and now he's coming to the Champions. Let's bring him in. Yeah, far too good not to be playing European football of any kind, let alone just not Champions League football. And so I think I should be able to get him for close to market valuation too. I don't think I've got to spend much more than that really because of Atalanta's situation right now. And they're like, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. He's still on a long-term deal, Doxy boy. So, no, you want one of the best centre-backs in the world. You pay through your nose for him. So let's go 75 mil, few below the market valuation, much less than what they asked for, and they're sticking to that price tag. This is not going as planned. I mean, the tension bar's filled up quite a lot, so I've got a feeling if this deal falls through here, Atalanta will walk away, and they're going to say they'll take some time to consider it, but I think they'll come straight back and say 101.2 mil, we're sticking to that fee. And speaking of Raimondo, we have had a bid from Monaco as well, putting in the offer, but I still believe in him. I really do. Seriously, and I think it's one of those where it's like because he's homegrown, he's got that extra edge to him, you know. But yeah, I'm going to turn that one down. I'm going to consider it. I want to get Scalvini in first. Once I've got that deal confirmed, then I'll what's going on here? 2 players set for talks. What's going on here? What's happened? Where are we? What's going on? I can't tell if they've accepted that or not. I mean, there's the emails and. Oh, they have accepted it. They have accepted it. £80 million. I tell you what, these menus, I know we discussed it many times before, but like I've got to grips with them a little bit since the beginning of the game. But to me, they're still. What's he on right now? 83 grand is what the assistant manager's suggesting. Doesn't say what he's on. But this to me is like what EA really need to work on. Like this is such a great game in terms of gameplay, but the menus, nobody asked for this. Why have they made them so much more ham-fisted and unnecessarily complicated, laggy, and hard to get to grips with them fully? But also, you miss out on these things. Scalvini's been waiting for me to negotiate a contract probably for about 3 or 4 days now. Imagine if I would have missed out on negotiating because I didn't get notified of it. Anyway, 5-year deal. Oh, there he is, 110 grand a week. But players are taking pay cuts to come and play for us. I think Georgio will do the same. It won't be a massive pay cut, but I think he'll still take a little one. 80 grand, it's quite a big one, 80 grand a week. And Georgio says, yeah, I'm noticing that a lot. Players taking pay cuts here in the Serie A and just to join Bologna in general. I certainly approve of that, and I certainly approve of him. Scalvini, in. Oh yeah, I knew this guy was going to come in at some point. Maybe not in our first season of the rebuild era, but I knew for season 2 he would be my #1 target. In terms of high potential Italian players, he's one of the best, and he's far too good not to be playing in European football of any kind, let alone prime-time Champions League football. In the prime of his career, 27 years old, 88 rated, and still getting better. Welcome to the Stadio Renato Dall'Ara, Georgio Scalvini. Yep, used him once before, and class centre-half. I wouldn't say he's quite as good as Bastoni as Italian centre-backs in terms of reading of the game, but he's not that bad. He's like Bastoni light, if that makes sense. You know, 27 years old, and again, the only concern really, we see it right there, the lack of acceleration, agility, and in my opinion, quite an underrated stat, balance as well. But because of the sprint speed, because of the strength, but also crucially the interceptions, reactions, and the aggression as well, he shouldn't be caught out that much. And with the passing on the ball as well, with 94 short pass, 87 ball control, but also great defensive stats too. I think we're going to be all right. I think we're going to be okay. And again, at 27, he's still getting better as well. So I do want to work on that acceleration, try and get it up as much as I can. But other than that, no real concern for this guy. Scalvini in alongside Kovacevic as our backline gets even stronger. You know, with 27 million in the budget, I'm not going to say we're done for signings now, but yeah, we're going to have to sell 1 or 2 more players, I think, to bring some more class players in. And again, the 2 I'm looking at really are Lewis Ferguson and Zalewski. Both had a contract come the end of the season, and well, this is interesting. Not for either of those players, but Caleb Okoli's wanted by Juve. I wouldn't be against selling him, to be fair, but not to a division rival after his season with us last year. And also Liverpool want to bring in Koleosho. Reasonably tough first season with us last season, but I still believe in him. 26 years old, 86 overall, and I like he and Hassan as the winger partnership with Sissoko spearheading. So no, going to turn that one down there. So there we go. It's going to be an interesting transfer window, really. It's a bit different to how I was predicting it. A bit coming for Sissoko from Celta Vigo. Obviously, that's getting turned down. I mean, we still got Ferguson and Zalewski to possibly sell, but he might end up staying. Yeah, difficult decisions right now. I mean, with Zalewski, no bids have come in, and he was part of the best defence in the division last season, but I think we could still improve on him as a sort of makeshift left-back, if you will. And as for Ferguson, no bids coming in there either. None for Ranocchia, none for Cesar. I was predicting bids for those players, really, but none have come in so far. Very strange. We'll do a few more advances, but as things stand, we get through to the first game of the season very quickly indeed. Well, there's a bid for Bellini. Speaking of CMs, wanted by Inter, had a tough season last year, but no, he's a young talent. We're not letting go of him. As Inter look to rebuild there at the San Siro, I'm surprised they're not going in for someone like Ferguson, really, with the first team quality. This is crazy. Like, basically no bids are coming in at all. Oh, man. No. Look, we did it with Gibbs White. I'm not doing it with Giovanni as well, man. Real Madrid putting in a bid. Oh, that's a joke of a bid, by the way. 42.6 mil for Fabian. It was amazing last year. Absolutely not, guys. Now, I said this when we were at Ipswich. There's very few clubs, when you're sort of like starting to become on top, that you would sell players to. Real Madrid, if not the biggest club in the world, one of the biggest, but that is an insult of a bid for a player in the prime of his career right now. Giovanni was amazing last year, absolutely fantastic. Only 1 year since he's returned here. I'm turning that one down because the bid is an insult, man. Seriously, he was so good last year. I'm surprised he's not getting any better. I might give him a new contract to reward the loyalty, but that's a joke of a bid, honestly. I mean, he's got 4 years left in his deal, so I'm going to say to Giovanni, look, to stay here, now we're a Serie A champion and a Champions League quality team as well. I'll give you a 1 year extension, take it up to 5, but also give you an extra 5 grand a week to reward the loyalty. I can't get over that bit. Sometimes to me, like market valuations, they really need working on. Like some of them are like ridiculously lower than they should be. Fabian last year was absolutely phenomenal as part of our midfield trio. The fact he didn't get upgraded at all and his market valuation decreased due to his now increasing age, it's... Like I said before, this is something that EA need to work on. And actually, that's something I want to see as well. Has Hassan started to grow again now after last season? Is he growing? He is indeed. Slowly, but at least we know we can get him up 1 or 2. But again, it should be a lot quicker. He was phenomenal last season, honestly. So 2 more offers. And again, for players who I don't particularly want to sell, I'm considering Raimondo. And Bilbao have had a great rise in this save. So then wanting Ramirez, maybe he is from the Basque region, you never know. But I'd rather keep him. I really probably should sell one of these two, but I might loan out Ramirez again. But because of our small squad depth, we might need him, to be fair. So I'm really surprised we haven't had a single bid for Ferguson or Zalewski yet. 11 days till the season starts, and as things stand, it's going to be a very quick and quiet transfer window, completely different to what I was expecting. As again, we're getting a lot of bids for Raimondo. Acoli's now had an offer from Milan as well as Juve too. Going to turn that one down as well, but I'm not selling Raimondo. I think I want to give him a couple of games to start the season off. Maybe he'll be better than he was last season, but this is a real surprise, man. Not a single bid for Ferguson or for Zalewski. Both had a contract at the end of the season. Yeah, well, it looks as though we're jumping right into the first game of the season because we still haven't had any bids. And, that's one of the players I want. We haven't got the money to sign him yet. I was hoping that we could sell Zalewski and then I'll bring on Guilherme. Maybe he's a complete wing-back on that left-hand side despite the lack of defensive stats. But no, I haven't had any single bids at all for either Zalewski or Ferguson. So, well, what a surprisingly quiet transfer window so far. We might have made a big signing, but other than that, it's been... it's been quiet, to say at the very least. So let's jump into the first game of the season then. It's Udinese away in Udine. Well, we won here last season. That all but confirmed the championship for us. But heading into the new season, the board has said to retain it this year, win the Coppa Italia and the Champions League. So a treble in just our second season. So far for the window, 1 sale, 1 signing, slight improvement in the back line, but I guess we're just running it back for the new year because Wymus were winning formula after winning the title last season. First game, Udinese away. Forza Bologna, I'm really surprised how quickly this has come round. Yeah, this has been a strange start to the season. I don't know. I just thought it was going to be quite a big one. I know that even though the budget wasn't big, I just assumed that. Oh, what a start that would have been. We'd have seen some bigger moves so far. We brought in Scalvini on a club record, but even so, still 2 weeks to go till the window's shut. So we're not done yet. Just. I would have thought by now we had a few more as Hassan bends in the opening goal on our first of the season. That was coming. Koleo's straight to keeper. Hassan is the bottom corner. Basically what we saw last season. I don't know why I'm not getting on with Luca. I really don't. What was it, 2 goals last season or 3? Not a great return. I think, to be fair, he's obviously playing on the right wing and he's a right footer. So he's cutting into his weaker left foot, to be fair. So that does make it a bit harder. But I would expect a slightly more in terms of a return. As Scalvini can't get the ball away. Just play back to the edge. And the shot from range hits the post. And Rico Lewis gets it away. 14 in, a goal and the woodwork rattled. Definitely a lot more chances tonight. Forgetting Scalvini is a giant of a man as well. He's 6'4". Really, really tall. And so we didn't really score many goals from set pieces last year, to be fair. My effectiveness has certainly died down since the base game. Perhaps they've made it a bit harder in the patch, but with him in the back line going forward for set pieces, we should get a few more chances, including here from open play, and it's 2. Picking up where he left off from last season. I don't think he would have won the Golden Boot without the injury, but he certainly would have been top 3 or top 2 in scoring. Amin Sissoko, and whatever we do with Raimondo and the young Spaniard, no matter what happens, this fact won't change. He is staying as our starting striker. Bologna 2-0 up, and it was our 2 player of the seasons last year combining for our opening 2 this season. Already feeling as though points are in the bag on match day 1. Well, in the first game of a title defence year, you never want to start off slipping up, man. You want to show you haven't taken a step back from last season when you were champions, but actually you're getting even better. I think it's safe to say we probably are. Maybe only the one alteration so far, but Scalvini coming in, club record signing, clean sheet on his debut, and a comfortable 2-0 victory with our 2 players this season last year getting a goal each. Bologna, it wasn't a one-off last season. We are the best team in Italy. I'm calling us that. To be honest, I don't really know what to do now either. I mean, are we going to play another game? Or is Inter start off with a draw? I wonder if they're going to struggle like last season, or are we just going to leave it there? Again, there's still just under 2 weeks to go, as we've had a bid there for Ramirez from Wolves, but I'm not getting the bids I want right now. Ferguson and Zalewski, guys, they're up for grabs. I mean, I know they're older players, Ferguson 31 and Zalewski 29, but I would have thought someone would have put a bid in. I mean, we got Inter in the second game of the season. Oh, there we go. We were waiting for this bid coming in for Zalewski from Aston Villa, and it's not the best bid really. And you know, I don't really need to sell him. That's the thing. I really don't know what to do here. Well, I was thinking about bringing in Guilherme, and despite the lack of defensive stats, that's clearly not hurt Zalewski. And just having him as a wing back, but I mean, because of the lack of money we've got right now, just the £30 million. With that money, we're not really going to be able to sign a class left back. I don't think so. Unless I can get quite a bit of money out of Aston Villa, I might do a 180 here and just keep Nicola here, because again, last season he was part of the best defensive team in the division. So it's like, you know, what is this money going to do? 34.9 mil. In modern day football, it's not a lot. And can we find a better player combined with the budget? Well, maybe, but maybe not. So I'm going to have to ask Unai to go well over market valuation, which I doubt, based on an expiring contract, he's willing to do. I don't really know what to do here. Well, let's play our first home game of the season, and we'll end on this. Following game, struggling Inter at the Estadio Natadallara last season had a terrible start to the campaign. You know, for the first half of the season, I was thinking there's a chance they might end up getting relegated. They were fine in the end to stumble over the line to a top 10 finish, but not in Europe this season. And starting off with a draw, big problems at the San Siro as they travel to Bologna. Our following game and our final one today, Inter at home. Forza Bologna. Yeah, I think Inter have definitely dropped off, no doubt about that. And it's weird because, you know, when you see like a big team struggle and you're like, why? Like, you know, why is that happening? Like, normally you can find a reason as to what's causing the issues, but with Inter, I don't know. I mean, this is a class team. This is a 5-star team, and it's also worth pointing out they reached the Champions League final last year, only to come up short against PSG. So why they're struggling so much, genuinely, I've got no idea, as Georgio is denied early. Fabian driving forward, rolling through Sarkisian, and in the middle is Sissoko. Great control, finish denied. 2 good saves by Restes in the first half. Man, I don't really know why Inter is struggling so much. I don't think you can point the blame on the goalkeeper though. Restes is a class young keeper in this game, and he's made 2 really good saves early here. Still goalless because of him. Yeah, I guess what we could do is just extend the contracts of Zalewski and Ferguson. Like, we don't have to sell them. They're out of contract at the end of the season, sure. We are trying to get younger, sure. But they're not like, you know, veterans like Sonny at 38 or whatever he was. Zalewski's 29. So, oh, now it's a poor pass across the edge. You can't do that. Can't do that. Can't do that. Sesko in the opener, Inter in front. This is not how I want to close the episode. Simple, isn't it? Good win away at Udinese in our first game of the season as Casadei heads wide, and then back home for our first game at the Estadio Natadallara. What do? Take on a struggling Inter side and lose without scoring. Yeah, that is classic me, that is, all over, honestly. There's still time, and I've just not been on it in this game, man. Seriously, Rest has made a couple of good saves, sure, but this has not been the free-flowing football I like to play. This has been a tough one. Maybe to Sarkisian. Georgio, space to run into. Sissoko, all the time in the world. And I might have missed 2 good chances in the first half. I ain't going to miss that one. He's got such great ball control and feet. And what I like about him as well is as quick as he is and as agile as he is and as balanced as he is, sometimes players like that, they can have all the pace, all the agility, but not much in the way of ball control and finishing. When I think of players like that, forgive me, Aston Villa fans, forgive me for this. I know it might sound a bit blasphemous, but Gabby Lahore. That was the player I always think of. Like, he had raw pace, but at times he was like, Bambi on ice, could never get his feet sorted. But Sissoko, he's got all the pace, but also the ball control is phenomenal. Zaluski steps inside and just couldn't shoot. To be fair, I think that's been a bit critical on Gabby. He scored a decent amount of Premier League goals. He was Aston Villa's go-to guy for a few good years as well. And Zaluski, great hesitation. Chance to win it. Rolls it across, no one's there. An Inter will pass out the draw. Should have won that. Had the chances, but only took one of them, and in the end have to settle for a draw on match day 2. I don't think Inter will struggle as much as last season, but that probably should have been back-to-back wins to begin the campaign off. But after a strange start to the campaign, 1 sale, 1 signing, 4 points taken from 6. Could have been better, could have been worse, I will leave it there. So thank you for watching the season opener, guys. Big thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, then please do drop a like. Georgio, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode. We'll play the remainder of the transfer window, still 30 million in the budget. So we should make at least one more signing, I would think. More games in the Serie A, and we'll have the draw for the Champions League phase and see what 8 teams we'll be facing this year. Have a great day, much love, and I'll see you for the next episode very soon.